In a world where thousands wake at reset to pull the greatest of champions, one man bucks the trends. It's 3 a.m. Do you know where your content creator is?
I'm sleeping in, bitches!
What an asshole.
Hey guys, it's Special K. This is going to be a big pull weekend for a lot of you. Although we only have a 2x with no 10x for rares and divines, ancients this week are going to be something big. We've got a brand new champion, Admiral Claw, that's coming to the game. He does a couple of really cool things. Looking at his kit, he's got a long range. It's basically the same as Zilla 2. 3 straight out in front of him, 3 wide, 3 wide. 17.5k HP. His defense is really high, 2940, right in the same range as Zilla 2. He's 18 cost, blocks 2, 2.6 interval, 14 rage regen, 150 crit damage. So pretty standard. His A1, prioritize enemies within 1 tile, dealing 100% damage to the main target and 25% splash damage to up to 2 enemies near the main target. If there's no target within 1 tile, he casts Soul Lasher first. Soul Lasher is basically like a whip that pulls enemies and deals extra damage. This book's up to 120% to the main target, but keeps the 25% for the splash damage. His first passive, for every 3 attack, reduces 5% of current HP and increases 2% damage permanently. Upon triggering this effect 10 times, basic attack turns into Bloodstorm Annihilator. Increases attack by 20%, but also increases attack interval. Every attack launch reduces 5% of current HP, same thing. Deals 180 to the main and 40% splash damage. So he does a little bit more damage with this. This book's up to 6% extra damage increase after those attacks. Second passive, Carnage. When he's in Bloodstorm Annihilator, increases the damage to enemies of low HP, so less than 30%, by 20%. This book's up to 40% HP as the threshold and 30% extra damage. He gets extra attack range in the arena. He does have a talent, increases penetration by 5% for every 10% loss of HP up to 30%. His ultimate pulls enemies in, up to 5 of them, deals 250% AoE damage to all. Books up to 350, goes down to 500 cost. So he's going to be firing that a lot. Looking at Awakenings, when he's in that Bloodstorm Annihilator, it increases his penetration by another 10%, 300 extra attack on his A2, adds physical vulnerability with his A3 when he's in the Bloodstorm Annihilator phase, 8% extra penetration, and at A5, his attack interval doesn't increase. All in all, these aren't the strongest I've ever seen. You know, it's just more damage, more damage, more damage, more or less. He's chaotic and nightmare, so he's going to find his way into a fair amount of comps. So looking at what Moonton's telling us, he's grappling, he's late game, he's splash damage, and he's got arena mastery, obviously, because he's chaotic. I don't think that his arena mastery with the added range is really the best that it could be. I'd love to see him at a lower cost or less, or more damage. Says his passive skill increases his damage and continues to unleash attacks. In Guild Boss, when granted the attack speed bonus from the Nightmare Council's Lord skill, Admiral Claw's damage will escalate even more over the course of the battle. So yeah, I mean, if you're bringing a Nightmare comp, he could be great for it. I don't know if you'd take him over Valeria because he's AoE attack, but he might be able to do some damage. Arena single target, he'll do okay. Arena AoE, I think he'll do pretty good. They say to put him in either a Warlord set with Soulbound Arcana or Annihilating Might with Fracture. And they say to put him in a Flux Pendant. If he can heal, he could probably do fairly well in a Lunacy Visor. So that's the new guy. Let's meet the old guy. This is probably what's going to pull more people in than anything else. Twinfiend is also on 10x for Ancients. All you have to do is take a quick look at the top 100 Guild Boss teams. 85 to 90% of them are running Twinfiend. He's absolutely amazing. He's really great. I don't have him, so I can't even showcase him for you. He is incredible. I have the other Infernal Lord, Solkadins. He's a great pull for just about anybody that's not already doing 50k blood. If you've got Zilla 2, Cetrum, Hex, Nocturne, this guy's going to bring out the best in all of them. Got a really basic A1, books up to 120%. For his ultimate, he marks a target and everybody focuses fire on him. So everybody deals damage through Twinfiend to him. The one difference I've seen between Twinfiend and Sulkadins is I believe Twinfiend, all of the damage that gets done with his big focus fire, I believe it all shuffles back down to the champs when you look at the sheets at the end. With Sulkadins, he keeps at least some portion of it. It may not be 100%, but he keeps a portion of it. Zilitus and Cetrums with Twinfiend, Show is doing big, huge damage. With Sulkadins, they're a little less, but he's way, 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 way higher. Only Silas does more damage than Sulkadins in Guild Boss for me. And when you look at a lot of Twinfiend teams, it's, Zilly right at the top, Cetrum, Silas, those guys all pile right at the top. So I think there's something funny with the way damage is accrued with Sulkadins. But enough about that guy. This is about this guy. He does burning. When he ults, he does these big meteors, and they do a ton of damage too. So he's got this passive Sweltering Rage. When the ultimate is triggered, he immediately enters the Infernal Rage state. While in this state, damage increases by 30% and attack speed by 60. The attack speed books up to 100 attack speed. So other passive, Cremating Tempest, attacks a target with burning, creating an explosion that deals 40% AoE damage. Again, in Guild Boss, this isn't going to do a huge thing. And Twinfiend is, for the most part, a Guild Boss champ. He's got the basic Lord skill. He's, 15% to attributes. When he does his Meteor Strike, they get a crit rate increase, crit damage increase, and penetration increase for 10 seconds. Yeah, his penetration is 30%, so it's really good. Looking at his Awakenings, just like Sulkadins, this A1 is an absolute must-have if you really want to put out some damage. Once he does his ult, he also puts down vulnerability for physical and magic damage. His A2 is 5%, adds 8% crit damage to all the faction allies. His A3, when he does the Infernal Rage, he increases his crit damage by 40%. His A4 is a little extra crit rate, and his A5 increases his rage regen when he's in Infernal Rage by 100%. It's pretty good. So, as you probably guessed from my intro, I'm not pulling this weekend. But should you? Who should pull this weekend? Unless you've already got a sorted Guild Boss team, I would strongly suggest that you pull for Twinfiend. Maybe you get Claw and he turns out to be okay for you in a couple of different places. If you have an A0 Twinfiend, absolutely pull as much as you can trying to get him. If you're early game or early mid game, it might make sense to pull on the 2X, especially with Divine Summons, because Divine Summons goes up to a 12% chance to pull a Lego. And if you're someone who's got a lot of Legos that can help them, that's going to be a huge bonus. But for someone like me, just a flat 2X with no 10X and, one semi-interesting new champ and a legendary lord that does exactly what the one that I already have does. No, I'm not pulling. So, yeah, I think pretty much everyone who's not a Sulkadins owner is probably pulling, at least for Ancients. If you're pulling this weekend, I hope you get exactly what you're looking for. Best of luck. Thanks for checking out this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.